Okay, before we hear the Red5audio RVB5 in action, I thought by way of some sort of comparison it would be useful to hear another screen from another manufacturer being tested. So I looked around the web and I found some audio examples in WAV format that a guy made of him testing the SE reflection filter, a much more expensive product. In the following examples you'll see the legend distant, close and very close screen, and that means distant, the mic is at the edge of the screen; close, it's in the middle of the screen; and very close means it's at the back of the screen. So let's check that out first and then we'll listen to the RVB5.
This is me speaking at a normal volume. 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 This is me speaking at an excessive 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 volume.
Okay, I've put up WAV examples of both the screen audios so you can hear them in greater detail. Now with this SE reflection filter example, I'm hearing an almost negligible reduction in the room ambience, okay, especially in the louder vocal. I'm also hearing a subtle tonal shift the further into the screen that the mic is being buried. That's like in the close and very close examples, okay? Now with the Red5audio RVB5 screen that we're reviewing here, I found the same to be true. Obviously this product is aimed at the home studio market, so there was no point demoing this in a properly acoustically treated studio. I therefore tried the screen for a couple of days in various rooms in a regular apartment. That is, rooms with some carpet, a few soft furnishings, but no treatment on the walls or ceiling at all. And with a typical, volume vocal, I found that it was the same as with the SE reflection filter. A subtle, almost negligible effect in reducing ambient room sound. And also a similar thing where the further you bury the mic into the Red5 screen and close in the doors, you start to get a subtle shift in the tone of the mic. Now the reason that all these screens are doing very little to reduce the ambient room sound is because, of course, they're only reducing off-axis reflections arriving at the mic. None of these screens are doing anything to reduce on-axis reflections because, of course, these screens sit to the side and the back of the mic, so they can only reduce off-axis reflections. Okay, so I thought about this and I thought, well, obviously what you need is some sort of absorbent panel behind the singer or performer to stop the on-axis reflections, and then the screen should do its job. So what I did was, I ended up doing these demos you're going to hear next in a kitchen, because I thought I'll choose the worst possible room that any musician might have. Okay, solid floors, solid work surfaces, a really horrible live room. And what I did was I hung a continental quilt over a pole that was suspended across the kitchen. I hung a single continental quilt so that it was hanging from about 1.5 feet above my head down to my waist, and I did these demos. Now in the following examples what you'll hear first is the screen being used with no quilt at all, okay? And then in the second to last example in each batch, as a means test, I've recorded the vocal with the quilt hanging behind me but with the mic on a regular stand with no screen at all, to show you that the quilt by itself is doing nothing to reduce the ambient kitchen room sound. But in the final example of each batch, I've done the demo with the quilt hanging behind me and with the RVB5 screen, and you will then hear that the ambient terrible kitchen room sound is almost completely removed. Okay, so let's listen to the examples and then we'll have a little chat after that.
I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. 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 I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour.
So that's the RVB5 examples, okay? And what have we learnt from listening to both screens in action? We've learnt that their job is to remove or reduce off-axis reflections. They don't remove on-axis reflections. Now if you go to the SE website, you'll see endless endorsement shots of their screen being used in Pro Studios. But you must remember that in that context the screen is being used simply to add greater isolation to the mic from off-axis reflections. It's being used in an already professionally acoustically treated space that sounds great. It is not being used to remove a terrible room sound from a recording. Now I'm not saying SE are misleading anybody, but the point is beginners might see these promo shots and think, hey man, if I buy one of these screens and set it up in my terrible sounding bedroom studio, it'll remove the room sound and I'll get a great recording. Well, that isn't true. But what we have shown is even in the worst possible sounding room, if you set up something like a quilt to remove on-axis reflections, the Red5 screen will remove off-axis reflections to the amount that you want by adjusting the barn doors and the position of the mic, and you will get a great sounding recording even in the worst possible ambient space. But you must have an absorbing panel such as a quilt behind you. Okay, now the last thing is I just want to show you some footage of me trying to topple over the Red5 screen and stand, because one of the complaints about the reflection filter that I've heard a lot is that once it's mounted on a regular mic stand it's very easy to knock over because of its centre of gravity. But check out this footage of the Red5 screen at full height and you'll see it's actually quite resistant to being knocked over by accident.
Considering how much weight is sitting up here with the combination of the mic and the hardware and the height of it, as you can see, it's pretty resistant to being knocked over, right? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Now, there's one other little point that probably won't be talked about in reviews, but for the bedroom enthusiast who might want to leave this set up in the corner of your bedroom all the time when you're not recording, it actually offers another product ability. I'll just show you. So when you're not using it for recording, it actually makes a really, really cool clothes hanger. Look at that, fantastic, and it's still resistant to being knocked over. That's fantastic. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you was just that by raising the mic up on that little additional stanchion extension that you can pull out by about 3 to 4 inches max, you can just get the plug raised up so it's not coming into contact with this rod. Okay, and therefore, even though the lead does touch on the rod, you still get a vertical microphone and there's still plenty of space above the mic, yeah, for the shield above it to stop off-axis reflections arriving at the mic, okay?
So in summing up, I'd say the RVB5 offers just as good removal of off-axis reflections as the much more costly reflection filter from SE. Into the bargain you get this great heavy-duty stand with it. The pole can be easily detached from the screen, and with the hinge the screen can be folded almost flat, making it easy to place into a soft carrying bag, which makes the package ideal for location recording as well. I hope we've covered everything because you can't try this in the shops, and I hope it's been useful.